Hello and welcome to another special edition of the ASEAN Basketball League Weekly Highlights. This time we'll be seeing more basketball action and review exactly what's happened after 11 rounds in the first official season of the ASEAN Basketball League. Here comes Malaysia, represented by the fierce KL Dragons. It's been a tough outing for the KL Dragons, and it might not be much of a surprise as they are at the bottom of the standings after 11 rounds. They started the season with a 1-win and 1-loss record, but after that, it's been a team with a very iffy form. Let's see some of the Dragons' high points of their season and their victory against the Thailand Tigers. Both teams came out strong at the Maba Stadium with the first period very evened out, and it was 19 apiece at the first buzzer. Chris Kuete Lonichi and Rudy Linganay led the way for the Dragons, while it was all about American import Chaz Tuan Briggs doing the business for the Tigers, leading the team to a total of 36 points. The Tigers surprised the home team when they were able to lead at halftime, but coach Cheng Wat Go of the Dragons had other plans. Outscoring the Tigers from the bench and from second chance points, the Dragons were able to win by a 1-point difference, making it one of the closest games in the entire season. 79-78 final score. It's round 7 action with Singapore versus Kuala Lumpur at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. None of the two teams dominated in the first period, but it was the second half when the Dragons were able to distance themselves from their opponents. 41-34 for the guests after 2 periods. For the Slingers, it was the usual suspects of Kyle Jeffers and Michael LeBlanc, leading the way and combining for a total of 25 points. But again, Rudy Linganay became a nightmare for the home team, scoring a total of 21 points. The Slingers had no one to blame but themselves, and since they were favorites, the fans were mighty disappointed with the end result. Credit to the Dragons' defense as they won it specifically with more personal rebounds than the home team. Slingers losing this one by 10 points even, 74-84. And here's round 11 action. It was a good battle for both teams, and it was especially a good night for Dragons' highest scoring player, Chris Lonichi, netting a total of 19 points for the guests. Teammate Rudy Linganay again proved he was one of the main men for the Dragons, netting 13 points. Beating the Slingers away at Singapore was a mean feat, but it was mission impossible to beat the Red Hot Patriots at their own stadium. Thanks to the high-scoring antics of Brandon Powland and Warren Ibanez, the Patriots walked out winners with a final score of 76-70. After 11 rounds, the KL Dragons are in last place, winning 4 games and losing 5 with 14 points total. Here are the 3 best players from the KL Dragons. Rudy Linganay, making some impressive digits with 91 points total, 27 rebounds, and 8 assists for his teammates. Next we have Jamal Brown, impressively scoring a total of 109 points, with 8 assists and 96 rebounds. And the highest scoring player for the KL Dragons, Chris Daniels Kuete, 139 points total, with 21 assists for his teammates and 26 rebounds for his team. Here come the Brunei Barracudas representing Brunei in the ASEAN Basketball League. Here's a rewind back to October 14, 2009, their first round match against the KL Dragons. It was total destruction provided by the Barracudas as they trampled the KL Dragons 94-76. Props to Francis Adriano and Michael Pilgrim leading the Barracudas to victory with 23 and 22 points respectively. It was a headache for both coaches as their teams were high on the turnover department. 17 turnovers committed by the Dragons and 16 by the Barracudas. The difference was that Brunei were able to capitalize from the host turnovers, and defensively, the Barracudas were more solid, providing 28 defensive rebounds to Kuala Lumpur's mere 16 rebounds. Points win the game, and Brunei at the end had the most of the two. Exactly a month after they embarrassed KL, the Brunei Barracudas played at home against the Thailand Tigers that proved an exciting round 6 matchup. This game was definitely highlighted by the imports from both teams. Reggie Larry and Lonnie Jones for Brunei proved their worth, combining for a total of 64 points. Whoa, could you believe that? While teammates Michael Pilgrim and Leonidas Avenido each scored an impressive 16 points. At the other end, it was Shaz Tuan Briggs that did the damage for the Thailand Tigers, but in the end it was not enough, as the visitors lost at the Brunei Indoor Stadium by 5 points, 91-86 final score. Now let's check out round 10 action. Brunei went full steam ahead, and after 5 minutes were up by 4 points. First half went to the Philippines though, who led by a point, 21-20. Jason Dixon and Dino Da scored lots for the Patriots and helped them lead after the first half, 47-43. The Philippines were impressive as well, outscoring the Barracudas from the bench, but too many turnovers from the Patriots proved they deserved what was coming, and no thanks to Brunei's Michael Pilgrim and Leonidas Avenido, who proved too much for the visitors, scoring a total 38 points. And that's how Brunei came out with a big upset. With 14 points, the Brunei Barracudas are in 5th place in the standings, playing 10 matches and winning 4, losing 6. Next, we have the 3 best players from the Brunei Barracudas. After 11 rounds, Reggie Larry was able to score 105 points with 20 assists and 40 rebounds. Next for the Barracudas, it's Leonidas Avenido, scoring an awesome 148 points with 65 rebounds and 28 assists for his teammates. But the highest score for the Barracudas came in the form of Michael Pilgrim, scoring an incredible 156 points with 16 assists and 87 rebounds. Here we have assist leaders per game of the ASEAN Basketball League after 11 rounds. At number 1, we find Reggie Larry from Brunei Barracudas. After only 5 games played, he was able to make 4 assists. At number 2, it's Christian Caronel from Philippine Patriots. Played just 4 games, but managed 3.5 assists per game. Number 3, JP Alcaraz from Philippine Patriots. Played just 2 games, but averaged also 3.5 assists per game. Number 4, Satria Muda Britamas Alexander Hardman. Played 11 games and averaged 3.5 assists as well. And at number 5, Warren Ibanez from the Philippine Patriots. Games played 11 and average assists per game 3.3.